Why is Zoro always lost? Here are 10 reasons why Zoro always gets lost. Roronoa Zoro is one of the strongest characters in One Piece, but there is one unique weakness that always sticks with him. He almost always gets lost, even in places that should be easy to navigate. This running gag is not just humor, but it has also become part of Zoro's personality and charm. Here are 10 reasons why Zoro always gets lost. 1. Zero sense of direction. Zoro has really bad navigation skills. Even when given clear directions, he still managed to go the wrong way. It wasn't just because he wasn't paying attention, but it seemed like he really couldn't grasp the concept of direction well. For example, while in Water 7, Zoro was told to go to the ship, but somehow he ended up on the opposite side of the city. 2. Overconfidence. Zoro is always convinced that he knows the right path. The problem is, this overconfidence actually makes him even more lost. Rather than asking questions or double-checking his path, he preferred to continue walking confidently, which often led him to the wrong place. 3. The habit of relying on instincts, not logic. Instead of memorizing routes or reading directional signs, Zoro tends to rely on his own instincts. Unfortunately, his sense of direction often goes way off the rails. In Little Garden, for example, when he wanted to return to the ship, he ended up in a forest filled with dinosaurs. 4. Can't use maps. Zoro also seems to have trouble reading maps. When Nami or Robin point out directions, he often misinterprets them. Even in a critical situation, the map did not help him find the right path at all. 5. The world of One Piece sometimes doesn't make sense. Eiichiro Oda, the creator of One Piece, often creates unique and strange worlds. There are islands that are always changing shape, cities with winding alleys, even places with optical illusions. This further exacerbates Zoro's already bad navigation habits. For example, in Skypiea, even though the island is not very big, Zoro can still get lost and appear in an unknown place. 6. Oda's running gag. Zoro's habit of getting lost is not only because of his nature, but also because Eiichiro Oda deliberately made it a recurring joke in the story. This is part of Zoro's characterization that makes him more human and unique than other characters. 7. Rarely asks others. Zoro is the type of guy who rarely asks for help or directions. He prefers to find his own way, which only makes him more lost. In Dressrosa, when the other crew members had gathered, Zoro was busy looking for a way out of the city labyrinth alone. 8. Always focused on something else, like fighting or sleeping. Zoro is a very dedicated swordsman. He often focuses on training, fighting, or even sleeping instead of paying attention to the route. This often makes him lose his way because he doesn't really pay attention to his surroundings. 9. Influence from other crewmates, like Sanji, who likes to taunt him. Sanji often taunts Zoro for his habit of getting lost, and this sometimes makes things worse. When they fight, Zoro is even more unfocused on the direction he should be in. In Punk Hazard, for example, when they were on a rescue mission, Zoro and Sanji were busy arguing, so Zoro ended up walking in the direction wrong. 10. The Zoro Syndrome Effect. Some fans refer to this phenomenon as Zoro Syndrome, where Zoro can get lost even in places where it should be impossible to get lost. It's like some kind of curse or unwritten rule in the One Piece world that ensures Zoro never finds the right path. In Thriller Bark, for example, when everyone goes the right way, the same one, Zoro somehow ended up in a place far away from them. Zoro will always be lost. No matter how strong and great Zoro is in fighting, one thing is for sure, he will always be lost. Whether it's because of his bad instincts, his overconfidence, or just because of Eiichiro Oda's mischief, this habit has become part of his identity. And perhaps that is what makes Zoro even more interesting to fans.